I'm very passionate about helping people, period. Sometimes life pulls you from up here to down here to teach you a lesson. And you're in a valley right now. And there are lessons in this valley. I hope you learn from them.
Objective, independent justice.
You can always turn your life around. If you keep walking, you can overcome whatever circumstances you're facing.
This is Supreme Justice with Judge Karen. Landscaper Jamie Spencer is suing Barbara Teal in the amount of $500. Mr. Spencer claims Ms. Teal hired him to create a topiary design in her yard and says the defendant refuses to pay him. Ms. Teal claims Mr. Spencer botched the job and says since she hired him on a trial basis, she shouldn't have to pay the plaintiff for the work.
All rise. Raise your right hands, please. Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give before this court shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes. I do.
Court is now in session with the Honorable Judge Karen Mills Francis presiding. All parties have been sworn in, Your Honor.
Thank you, Chris. You may be seated. Mr. Spencer, you're suing Ms. Teal for $500 for money owed for a landscaping job?
Yes, Your Honor.
Is that right? So you're in the landscaping business?
Yes, I started having my own company for about 3 years now.
What were you doing before the landscaping?
Landscaping before that, I was just doing odd jobs,
right,
around the city.
Right. So what experience do you have or training do you have in landscaping?
Well, one of the odd jobs that I had doing was working with one of my friends, Joseph. He owned a business before I started.
Landscaping?
Landscaping,
okay,
yes.
So you worked with Joseph in his landscaping business?
Yes, that's how I learned.
So you got on-the-job training in landscaping?
Yes.
And how long did you do that?
I did that for about a year and a half before I wanted to start my own business.
Okay.
And so as I started my own business, Joseph just recently, he wanted to, retire.
Okay.
So when he retired, I took on his clientele.
Okay, so did you buy the business from him, or he just turned over his
No, he just turned over his clientele.
Okay.
He gave great recommendations to all his clients, and all of them, I met with them, and they took me on, just like I met with Miss Teal over here.
Okay, so you knew Joseph, is that right, Miss Teal?
Yes, so I actually have lived in my home my whole life. I inherited it from my parents. They passed away shortly after I graduated from high school, but our house has only had 2 groundskeepers the entire time. One being Eldridge, who was there as I grew up, and the other being Joseph, who's been there the past 14 years until he just decided to retire.
Did you tell the defendant that you had taken over Joseph's contacts?
Yes.
Okay.
And so when she wanted to meet with me, so I came to the house. When I got to the house, it was beautiful.
Okay, so that day you came over to her house, you guys agreed on some sort of trial period to see what kind of job you could do?
No, it never was a trial period.
It was never a trial? She just said, come on board?
She never, when I got there, she asked me, she said, can you be able to cut the grass, cut the hedges, and clean the flower beds and everything? And I said, yes, I can do that. She said, for that job, I'll give you $250
every
for
2
doing
weeks?
the jobs. Yes, that was the agreement.
Your Honor, that doesn't even make any sense. I told him, we had a conversation, we walked the grounds the first day that he came, and I told him that we would be on a trial period.
Don't do that.
I told him that we would be on a trial period.
Okay.
So like I said, we walked the grounds and we had a full-blown conversation about some of the tasks that I would ask him to do. And we also talked about even different things we could do to make the grounds better, like adding certain things to the trees and the topiaries and the flower beds, and even different arrangements for that.
Okay, so then what was the next agreement?
So because he did an immaculate job the first time, I stayed around that time just to make sure and check in briefly. He actually ended up finishing an hour before Joseph usually does, and I was very impressed originally. So I told him, I asked him, I was leaning towards hiring him full-time at this point, but I asked him to come back before I committed in the next 2 weeks so I can actually make sure that he could do what he said he could do.
Were you to come back in 2 weeks?
Yes.
Okay, did you come back in 2 weeks?
Yes, I came back in 2 weeks.
Okay, so what was he supposed to do now in 2 weeks?
Right, so when I asked him to come back after the first 2 weeks, I said to do the same exact thing. And then I added one extra task.
What was the extra task?
So the extra task, I asked him I had 2 topiaries in the front of my driveway, and I asked if he would be able to sculpt them into 2 swans.
Had you ever created a topiary before?
I told her that I was not experienced in doing that.
I'm asking you, had you ever done it before?
I've done a couple things.
Like what?
I did a couple, square shapes. One time I did a chicken
You did a chicken? Did you bring some pictures of some of the work you've done in the past?
No, I don't have any pictures.
Okay, so did you tell her you've done a chicken and a square thing?
Yes. I explained
Did he tell you that's all he's done is a chicken and a square box?
No, he didn't tell me that that's all he's done. He told me that he had experience before. He didn't tell me exactly what it was.
Well, my understanding is that you wanted these topiaries at the entrance to your property.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so this was a very important installation right here.
Extremely important.
I would think you would have wanted to see his work on topiaries before you had. What did you want him to make?
I wanted him to sculpt 2 swans.
2 swans?
Yes, but originally, due to the work that he had did before, it was the lawn was pristine, the flower beds, and everything was amazing.
That's not, I can cut your grass, okay?
But
that's not the same as creating a topiary.
Coming up on Supreme Justice.
Oh, she started cussing me out.
Right.
Yelling at me and everything.
Right.
Talking about, this is not what I asked for.
Right.
This is not right. And I'm looking like I thought I did a good job.
And later.
She still had belongings there. Her vehicle was still
there.
there.
That's irrelevant. My sister was not living there, Mr. Becker. I already explained to you many times.
She was on the premises. Her belongings were on the premises.
But she was not physically there.
Supreme Justice is back with the case of Jamie Spencer, who is suing Barbara Teal for non-payment of services.
In order to do a topiary, you have to have some experience. And you were asking this man to do this at the entrance to your property.
Yes, and he told me when we had that conversation, when we walked the grounds, he informed me this was something that we spoke about. Topiaries was something he said was in his wheelhouse.
Yeah,
so
I'm into gardening too. There's no way I would have let somebody that I had just met come in and do something as big as create swans, which are big birds, on the front of my house. And then how did you want the swan? Did you just want the swan sitting? Did you want him like he was about to take out in flight? Did you want the wings out? I mean, what did we want the swan to look like?
Just a sitting swan. And I double checked with him that day before I asked him. I said, "Are you comfortable doing this?"
Right.
He told
you said,
me yes.
I'm comfortable. I can do this.
I told her that I explained to her that I'm not experienced in doing this, but she tells me, no, you're not giving yourself enough credit. You should be able to do it.
Oh, no, yeah, you're selling yourself short.
Yes.
Did you tell him that?
I said that you were selling yourself short in regards to the hedges and everything that he did. Right. And with the topiaries, he never mentioned that he wasn't as experienced as he's saying he is now. That was, and if it was, he could have told me no.
Okay, so, but you didn't say no.
No, I didn't say no.
Okay, just because she was bigging you up, you thought you'd go ahead and try.
She made me feel, a little bit more confident about myself.
There. I can do this.
Yeah.
I can do this. She said I can. Yes, I can. Okay. All right. So you did the swans.
Yes, I did.
And you weren't there at the time.
So no, this time because I trusted his work from the last time I went to run a few errands.
So what was wrong with the swans? Did you give me pictures of what you did?
I actually do have pictures.
Let me see pictures.
So they were definitely for sure not swans. And I asked for the swans to be facing each other with the beaks facing each other.
Right. Okay. So what did you say when you saw these swans?
I immediately got out the car and I asked Jamie to explain what this was supposed to be.
Honor.
What did she do?
When she got out the car, she started cussing me out.
Right.
Yelling at me and everything.
Right.
Talking about, this is not what I asked for.
Right.
This is not right. And I'm looking like I thought I did a good job. I'm like, this is something out of a Disney movie.
Did you guys have anything in writing?
For
this job?
No, we didn't have anything in writing about how it looks.
So what is the $500 for then? Why are you claiming $500?
The $500 is for the regular job that I was coming to do, the $250 that she promised me. But because of this, she asked me to do the swans. She said I would give you an extra $250.
Oh,
on top of that.
You agreed you were gonna pay him $250 for his regular job, which he did a good job. He did his regular job. Why didn't you at least pay him for his regular job?
Well, because if you actually know, after that, so I asked him to fix the topiaries. When he got out, I was upset.
Well, how are you gonna fix this?
So when I got out, I was very upset, and I told him that, and I asked him to explain. So he just stood there and he acted very dumb, like he thought he was like, I did a great job. There's no way that you could have thought that was a swan.
Okay, but why didn't you pay him for the work he did do?
Because I actually ended up having to pay $500 more to get them fixed after I asked him to fix them.
So you had somebody else to fix these?
Yes, so I had to have someone bring in.
Let me see the pictures of the...
I have the invoice.
I want to see the picture, how they fix these swans.
They had to bring in 2 installations.
Okay, well,
so I don't have the photo of those. I have the, but I do have the invoice.
I would think, miss, that when you got up this morning, you got your hair all done and you put your makeup on and dressed and thought about what you needed to bring to court. One of the things is, how the swans should have looked because I had somebody else to do it. Because if you ask me, these look like swans.
Those look like swans.
To me, it's a matter of opinion, right? Did you give him a picture of another topiary that you had seen and said, I want you to do this?
Yes.
Let me see that.
It's on my phone. No. We showed each other through.
Okay, show me on your phone.
I don't have it with me at the moment.
Okay, I'm ready to rule. First of all, you know you owe him $250 for the work he did. You claimed you had somebody else to do the work, and I don't even see pictures to know what they did. And were they ever able to make this into what you wanted it to be? Secondly, you had Joseph for 14 years. You just meet this guy. He comes strolling in. He cuts your grass. Anybody can do that. He edges your lawn. Anybody can do that. He does your hedges. Anybody can do that. And you say, oh, and I think you can do it because you was bigging him up. I think that you can make swans. It is an intricate task. It's an art to be able to create topiary. They have classes for topiary at the State Community College. You're going to pay him $250 also for that because you told him he could do it. He said, hey, I did it. You just weren't happy with what he did. They look like swans to me. They just turned backwards. I'm ready to rule. Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $500. Good luck to you.
All rise.
Judge Karen has ruled in favor of the plaintiff. The defendant is ordered to pay $500.
As soon as I get that $500, I'd be happy to come back and do the landscaping.
You can have your $500, but you will never return to my property again.
Coming up.
What your lease says is a tenant may have guests on the property for not over 15 consecutive days.
That's right.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, I don't need an echo chamber.
Network featuring dynamic judges and live legal programming.
Well, we're not at your school. We're in my courtroom.
Unique court shows.
Where is any information about the company?
Live legal news.
That's what you should have done.
And a commitment to justice.
Either you tried or you did it.
The next generation of court programming in one dynamic network. Justice Central. You're watching Justice Central. Stay tuned. Stay tuned to Justice Central. Coming up at 12:30, watch Supreme Justice with Judge Karen, followed by Justice for All with Christina Perez. The verdict is in, right here on Justice Central. You're watching Justice Central. You're watching Supreme Justice with Judge Karen. Damian Lopez is suing his landlord, Thomas Becker, in the amount of $250. Mr. Lopez claims he was unfairly fined by Mr. Becker after his sister briefly stayed at his apartment. Mr. Becker claims he has a strict policy regarding guests and says Mr. Lopez violated his lease when his sister stayed for more than 2 weeks.
All right, Mr. Lopez, you are suing your landlord, Mr. Becker, for $250 that you believe you were charged erroneously. Is that right?
That is correct, Your Honor.
So tell me what happened.
Your Honor, 3 months after I moved in with the apartments of Mr. Becker, my sister lost her job. Brianna, she was working at department stores and she got laid off.
Okay.
She couldn't make her payments at her apartment, and I invite her over to just spend a few nights with me while she was getting back on her feet.
Okay.
Doing applications. She broke her lease.
Your sister broke her lease and moved in with you?
Correct, yes, for a few days. That's correct.
For how many days?
She stayed for a total of 14 days, Your Honor.
Okay, she stayed 14 days.
Yes.
Okay, do you agree with this so far?
No, Your Honor.
What happened?
Mr. Lopez had a visitor come stay with him for longer than was provided for the lease.
Was this the sister that he's just talked about?
This was the sister, yes,
Okay,
ma'am.
how long did the sister stay?
It was a total of 15 days.
Okay.
That's not true, Your Honor.
It is true.
Okay,
Your
how
Honor.
do you know exactly how many days she stayed?
Because I started logging when her car was parked in the visitor parking spot from the first day.
Okay, and because the car had been there 15 days, you charged him $250?
Eventually. I gave him, first I gave him a friendly warning that he hadn't provided written notice.
Okay.
And then I came 3 days before he would have been charged, before any fees would have been
3 days before the 15th day?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
And I said, look, and I said this in a friendly manner, and it was not received friendly, I'll just say that.
Coming up.
Your lease says is a tenant may have guests on the property for not over 15 consecutive days.
That's right.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, I don't need
I'm sorry,
An
Your
echo
Honor.
chamber?
Supreme Justice is back with the case of Damian Lopez, who is suing Thomas Becker for $250.
So then what did you do then as a result of that?
Well, the great thing is that my sister, who I have here as a witness, she got a job interview in San Francisco.
Okay.
And I have proof that she went there before the 15th day.
Your Honor, while the tenant apparently was not on the premises, her vehicle still remained there on the 15th day.
Okay, let me look at the lease.
She still had belongings there. Her vehicle was still there.
That's irrelevant. My sister was not living there, Mr. Becker. I already explained it to you many times.
She was on the premises. Her belongings were on the premises.
But she was not physically there.
Well, if you leave the premises to go to work, you still live there.
No.
So Brianna Lopez is here?
Yes, I put her as a
court
witness.
calls Brianna Lopez. Come forward and be sworn, please, ma'am. Raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give today will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, I do.
All right, so I've heard testimony already about the fact that you had been living with your brother. And I've also heard testimony that you left on the 14th day of your stay to a job interview?
Yes, that's correct. I went to San Francisco where I got a job interview as a manager in retail.
Right.
And I got the job, so I eventually moved on that day. I came back 2 days later just to get my car and my personal belongings, but I wasn't there.
Okay, so you have any proof about the
Yes, Your Honor.
the job interview and the job?
Well, we have the plane ticket with her name on it that we left on September 16th.
Well, let me see some proof that you got a job there. You said you got a job there.
Yes, I'm working there now, and I'm leaving there now.
Yes, she's currently living there, Judge.
Your Honor, she didn't leave on the 14th day. She stayed past midnight on the 14th day.
What your lease says is a tenant may have guests on the property for not over 15 consecutive days.
That's right.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, I don't need an echo chamber. Okay.
Judge Karen's verdict when Supreme Justice returns.
She showed me proof that she left on the 14th day, the morning of the 14th day. There's nothing in here about a car, that you can't have a guest car there over 15 days. It says a guest on the property is a person, not a thing. Now, let me see proof that you got the job.
Well, I'm living there currently, so...
So where do you live now?
In San Francisco.
You have some proof, an ID or something that shows a San Francisco address?
No,
Well, you
Your
don't have
Honor.
a driver's license or anything?
Not with me, Your
Have
Honor.
you seen her on the premises since the 16th of September?
I did not see her, Your Honor, but her vehicle was removed eventually. But
When was her vehicle removed?
Her vehicle was removed on the 16th day.
Okay. The day after the 15th day?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yeah, she
I'm
came
ready
back
to
and-
roll. I'm going to give $250 to the plaintiff. Good luck to you.
All rise.
Judge Karen has ruled in favor of the plaintiff. The defendant is ordered to pay $250.
You know what? I'm so happy that Judge really saw how wrong you were, and I'm getting my $250 back.
Well, lucky for you, your lease is almost up. You can use it for a deposit on a new place.